Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Laura Milligan here from Canton, Ohio, and thank you for joining me today. It is my weekly Facebook Live. I go live every Monday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's really fun for me to share some project ideas with you. And I hope, of course, I'm always hoping that I inspire you. So I hope you all had a really good weekend. We did. It seems like the weekends always fly by, and next thing you know, it's Monday morning. So anyway, I'm a gardener. I know you've heard me talk about my garden before, and I've spent a lot of time this weekend out in my garden, and it was really fun. But now it's back to work, and I have some fun projects to share with you today. So if you are there, say hello, and again, thank you for joining me. Today I am going to be using the potted geranium bundle. It is new, and this is the first time I've used it. And in case I forget to say this later, I will be sharing another project using this bundle on my blog, which is lauramilligan.com. That will be in probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week. So be sure to go visit my blog and check that out. So I am going to go ahead. I see some people hopping on. So thank you all for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera view down and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start first by giving away this card. This is the card that I made last week. It features the Nature's Prints bundle. And let me tell you, I think you all love a black and white card because I got so many responses and comments and likes and loves from this card. So that was really fun, and I appreciate, of course, all your great comments. Thank you so much. So I made this last week, and I always draw a name to receive this card by those people that comment. So this one is going to Cookie Sheldon. So she left the sweetest comment, and so Cookie, I randomly drew your name, and so this will be going out in the mail to you today. And look at the flap. I just want to point this out. This was the perfectly penciled designer paper from our annual catalog, black and white, and I thought it kind of pulled, it was similar, these little sprigs here were similar to some of the die cuts with this bundle. So that cookie will be coming to you. I'll get it out in the mail probably tomorrow. And speaking of that, I do want to show you this little packet of goodness here. This is my Sunprint Suite card class to go, and the last day to register is today. Do not miss this class. Let me tell you, this is gorgeous, and I have had an amazing response. So I think we're all loving this, but it includes paper and gems and ribbon and 6 different card ideas. This was created by my Canadian demonstrator friend Sherry and we each designed 3 cards for this class, and it features this beautiful paper in the blues and the gray granite. And so I will put a link to register for this at the end when I'm done with my Facebook Live today. But don't miss out on this. Registration ends today, and it is a beautiful, beautiful class. One of my favorite sets from the new catalog. And obviously by the response I've gotten, some of you feel the same way. The other thing I wanted to mention is my Stampin Bingo. I do that every month. It is really fun, and I give away Stampin' Up! Product as prizes. We play 4 games of bingo. We create 4 super cute cards. This month my bingo features the bundle called A Fish and a Wish. It is a bundle that includes a stamp set and a punch. And of course, we all love a good punch bundle. So I will put the link to that registration at the end of when I'm done with this live today as well. But let me just show you a quick little sneak peek. These are the cards that we're going to be making, and you can see they're bright and fun and colorful. So don't miss out on bingo. If you've never played before, it is really, really fun. We do it via Zoom, and it's just fun. All right, so I have my catalog out, and I want to show you what I am using today. My card today is going to feature the Potted Geraniums bundle. So it consists of a stamp set and dies. And you can see the 3 samples here that are in our catalog. They are all beautiful. I think everybody loves geraniums, right? They're kind of like a staple in the garden. And Here is another really cute card back in the back. And what's really neat is when you look at a bundle and you see it in the beginning of the catalog, if you go to the back where we list like our dies or punches, well, our bundles, actually, I should say, there's always another project idea in the back. So great way to find a little bit of inspiration. And then I'm going to set this aside for a second. All right, so I know you all, for the most part, you all say you like to see the card that I'm making before I actually make it. So that's what we're going to do today. This is the card that I'm making featuring the Potted Geranium Bundle. And let me just show you how to put this together. All right, so here is the stamp set. And I know I showed you in the catalog, but it always looks different. I think when you can see it, I know it's not really in person, but I think you can get a better look at it. It's a lot bigger than the picture of it in the catalog. So this is the Geranium Bundle. It has some really good stamps. Most of them are two-step stamping, which I will explain a little bit more when I'm making my card. And then some really good greetings, reaching out with friendship and caring. There's a thank you, birthday, here for you every step of the way, wishing you happiness today, and always all kinds, sort of like an all occasion. And of course, we all love birthday cards. And these are the dies. So these dies include, of course, the flowers and the pot. There's a little bit of dirt. This is for the dirt that I'm going to actually stamp today for my card. And then there are two little labels, which are really cute. And of course, we can never get enough of those different label shapes, right? So those are the dies. And then I wanted to show you, so this part was created using the Split Card Textures dies. They are a set of standalone dies. And by that, I mean, they don't really have a bundle that they go with, so you can use them with anything. The difference being, like for the potted geraniums, it is sold as a bundle, so you get the stamp set and the dies as a bundle. You save 10% when you get them as a bundle. But these dies, split texture dies, are standalone. They don't really coordinate with any particular stamp set. And let me show you, they are found on page 174 in our annual catalog. I'm going to move this up so you can see. This is like it reminds me of like a lattice or a trellis. And then this one is more like a floral image, but they fill the corner of the paper that you cut out. So I'm going to bring that piece in. Let me put these back in here. And I have already die cut this. It's going to go this way. And what I did before I did anything else was to take my blending brush, and you know we all love our blending brushes, right? And then I took Pool Party ink, and I just wanted to soften the edges of this white a little bit. So I'm just going to swirl. Let me move this over so you can see. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to pick up some color with this, and what I like to do is start off the page or the cardstock and then just sort of go on it, because that prevents getting like a big dark image or big smudge of ink. I just want this to be real subtle. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to go on my scrap paper first and then work my way up onto my little die. But doesn't this make you think of a lattice, like, or a trellis that you would have flowers growing up? Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Don't you love geraniums? How many of you are gardeners? Have you planted geraniums this year? I think most people do. Okay, so I'm going to take my white cardstock, basic white cardstock, and I'm going to do some stamping, and then I'm going to die cut all of these. So I'm going to start with, and like I said, these are two-step stamps, which means for the most part you have, for example, this is for the pot, and you can see what that's going to look like. So you have a solid image, and then you have another stamp that adds detail. So what I'm going to do for all of these is so I'm going to ink up the more solid image, and I'm going to stamp it on my scrap paper first, because I want this part to be lighter, because I'm just using the same color of ink. This is Crumb Cake. Now I'm going to take this part, which is more detailed, and line this up like that. And so you can see it almost looks like I've used two different colors of ink, but I'm only using one. So I'm going to set that aside. Then I am going to bring in Garden Green. I'm going to put this crumb cake away. I'm going to bring in Garden Green ink. And I'm going to do my leaves. And so I'm going to start, this is the more detailed image. And it doesn't matter if you do like the solid image first and then the detailed image, or vice versa. The important thing to remember is when you're doing the more detailed image, you want to go directly from the ink pad to your paper. That's the one that you want to have more dark. Okay, so there's that. And now I'm going to take this lighter one. This is the more solid one. So again, I'm going to stamp off, and then I'll line this up like that. Look how pretty, isn't that cool? So you have the detail and the color behind it. It just makes it, it almost gives it some dimension. All right, so that was Garden Green. I think most people love geraniums. I see Judy loves them, Colleen. Okay, so those are my leaves and stem. I'm going to set that aside, and now I'm going to bring in polished pink, and I'm going to do my geraniums. So same thing again. I'm going to take the, let me see, where is it? Yeah. So the more solid image, and I'm going to stamp off on my scrap paper and do that like that. And then this is the more detailed image. So for this, I'm going to go directly, whoops, I think it goes this way, directly from my ink pad to, and you can see again that it looks like a two-tone, but I've really only used one color of ink. Oh, and you know what I forgot? I'm going to leave this open. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is use gray granite. And I'm going to stamp the little plant stake. This is in gray granite. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I have a teeny little word that says smile. And I'm going to stamp that right on my little plant marker. You could do this after you die cut it, but I find sometimes it's easier to stamp when it's part of a bigger piece. It doesn't slip or move around. Okay, and then I'm going to do, also with the gray granite, this little stamp here, I'll show you on the stamp case. This right here is dirt. So you want to have, of course, every pot, every plant needs some good dirt. So we're going to stamp our dirt. It's going to be in gray granite, and there is a die cut for that. I'll just put that up here. And I think that is all the stamping, other than, let me pull in my little lattice piece, as I call it. And this, I'm going to do birthdays are reminders that life should be celebrated. So I'm going to just put that right here in that corner, like that. Okay. So now I'm going to get my die cuts out, and I've actually already done this ahead of time just to save a little time. If you've never used a die cutting machine before and you have questions or need help in how to do that, please let me know, because I would be happy to explain it to you. If that's not it, here's what I want. I would be happy to go into more detail and explain it to you. So I'm just going to line these up so you can see. These are all the little die cuts. There's for the pot, the geranium leaves, the flowers is this. There's even one for this cute little garden stake. There. And then the dirt is right there. So I will run these through my die cutting, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and they will pop right out. I'm going to set these aside here. Okay. So through the magic of Facebook Live, I'm going to pull in all these parts. And so here they are. All right, and here's my dirt. And so now I'm going to put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and start by attaching my lattice. And you know what? The other thing I'm going to do is close up all my ink pads because yes, so Cindy is asking about two-step stamping. Yes, so you can definitely use two different colors of ink, but sometimes it's nice, you know, maybe you may not have a lot of different ink colors, although, you know, I'm going to encourage you, you probably want all of them, right? You have to. Our colors are so good, you just need all of them. So this, but what you can do is, so again, it's the more solid image is the one you want to be lighter, so that the more detailed image is the darker color, so that you can see all that detail, like on the, here's a good example on these little leaves. So pretty. Okay, I'm going to slide all these off of here and go ahead and put this card together. So I'm going to take my Tombow glue and squeeze, just put a little bit around the edge. And even here, I'm just going to do a teeny little bit because I don't want it to go out over the sides, but that looks pretty good. So but do that first. I'll flip this over. And this is just going to be centered. It's actually a really fun set. I'm all about flowers, and so of course I'm loving this one. But okay, so there's that part. And then I'm going to take my pot, and the first thing I'll do is just attach, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of the stem and just tuck this behind the pot. And you can see I did, the leaf is going to come down a little bit over the pot, which is how I want it to be. Okay, so we'll do that there. That about there like that. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to take my little plant stake and I will attach that with a little bit of glue as well. Let's put a little bit on the bottom. And before I attach this, I'm going to take a dimensional here and just put a little dimensional behind this part because I want this part to stick up. Not the end of it, but the little, the actual plant stake. So I'm going to tuck that under there. And that looks pretty good, just like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's my stake. And then I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals on the back of this. Let me see if I can find some of the regular size. I grabbed those minis. Yeah, here's a brand new sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this whole thing up, the pot, the leaves. I'm going to catch that here with my dimensional because that'll help kind of reinforce the part that I attached with just that little dab of glue. I'll put some there. So I'm going to go ahead now and position this on my card, and then I'll add the geraniums after. And I'll put that about right there, like that. Well, you know what, I better, somehow I misplaced my flowers. I'm sure they're, oh, and I forgot my dirt. Oh, you know what, let me see if I can pull this off. I probably can't. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, I don't think I pushed it down real well, so I think I can put this little dirt back here. So it's going to go behind here like this, and it is actually very subtle, but it kind of fills in some of those holes behind the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that. This is actually going to stick on these dimensionals. I'm just going to do it like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put another, I'm going to take a mini dimensional. I should have done this first. You never know what I'm going to do, right? But you want to attach your dirt. So you can see it just kind of finishes the look. So I'm going to go ahead now and position this, and luckily it's going to cover up my little boo-boo, so nobody will know that I had to take it off the page. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to put my flowers right there like that, and they are going to pop up as well. And I'm going to put these on. I'm going to back these with some dimensionals too. Yes, you're right, Cindy. I had this cute picture of Charlie out in my yard when I was gardening over the weekend, and he was looking at this huge rose bush. He was just sitting there. Somebody asked me if that was a posed photo, and it really wasn't. He was just sitting there looking at this big rose bush that I have. I'll put that picture on my page here when I'm done as well. But so there is our card, and then I wanted to just embellish it a little bit, and so I'm going to use my brushed brass butterflies. I think these are really fun, and they're perfect for so many different cards, but this one, because it had flowers, I thought this would look cute with that. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. Hi Helen, how are you? Hi everybody. Thank you all for joining me. Okay, so I think for this, I'll just take one of the larger size butterflies, and I'm just going to rest that right on the edge of my little plant marker. So there you have my card, and then I would line the inside with a piece of basic white. Let's see if I have a piece here. This may not be the right, yep, here we go. So I will put this on the inside, and then you could stamp a greeting. Just dress it up a little bit if you want. So if you come back, leave me a comment, and if you come back next Monday, you will see if you are the lucky winner of this card. I agree, geraniums are so happy. Okay, so there you go. It's really not that involved of a card, but I think adding this touch behind it makes it just look a little special. I think it's really cute. So the card that I'm going to share later this week on my blog has a red geranium, and it's a black, white, and red theme, and I know you all like black and white, and I think you will like the one with a little bit of red in it as well. So that is the card using the Potted Geranium Bundle, and I'm going to switch back up here. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to hold this up again so you can see. Really fun card. I agree. Geraniums just make you happy, and it's that time of year when I'm sure many of you are out in the garden planting and watching things grow, and something that I love very much. So I will be back next Monday at 1 o'clock, and I will be sharing something different with you. But please leave a comment if you want to share this post or this live with some of your friends that may enjoy some crafty fun. I would be very grateful for that. And as always, I am always so grateful for all of you joining me. Until next time, I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you have time to be creative today. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.